no cap. Shout out to Simney and shout out to Ali Talks. Once again, this is what happened to Foxy Brown part 2. We ain't gonna talk too much, so without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
And two top R&B artists are caught in the middle, Foxy Brown and Lil Kim.
What up guys, Ali here and welcome to Ali Talks Music. Add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music as well. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. Over the years, she has engaged in a shocking number of beefs, from Eve to Queen Latifah and many more. Now let's get into it. Queen Latifah vs Foxy Brown was a beef that simmered for years before coming to a head, and one of our lesser known feuds for Foxy Brown. Allegedly, the whole beef started decades ago, around the time Foxy Brown landed her signing with Def Jam. It began after Queen Latifah made a move on Foxy Brown in a club, although this was never confirmed to the public. Since she first entered the entertainment realm in the late 80s, many have speculated about Queen Latifah's sexuality, but she has always dodged the question. In 2008, she even
people did the same thing with I think a lot of people used to do the same thing with MC Lyte as well.
went so far as to say, I don't have a problem discussing the topic of somebody being gay, but I do have a problem discussing my personal life. You don't get that part of me. I don't feel like I need to share my personal life, and I don't care if people think I'm gay or not. Assume whatever you want. You do it anyway. Although she did later come out to the public later on in her career, prior to that, everything was considered speculation and rumors. Now, after hearing what people were saying about her behind the scenes, Latifah sent a shot at Foxy Brown in the form of name-calling off of her 1996
tomboyish
album, Set It Off. Now, the bars were subliminal and open to interpretation.
And all your rappers selling more sex than skill. Chill, I'll rip your style. All the while, keep my sex appeal. Don't get it twisted, yo, I never really favored you. And I was raised by my niggas from the play with you. So fuck giving props where they ain't. Do fuck you and that nigga who wrote the rhyme for you too.
Although many other rappers were also selling sex appeal,
Okay.
Foxy was the flavor of the month at the time.
That's
and was
I didn't know she did Foxy Brown before.
Also called out for using a ghostwriter from time to time. Now, Foxy did respond to Queen Latifah. However, the track wasn't released until 2 years later. The track in question took shots at both Queen Pen and Queen Latifah.
Come on, 2 years later. Y'all think that's too late? I think a diss track 2 years later is too late? Yeah, let me know in the comment section.
And was released on Funkmaster Flex's 60 Minutes of Funk with the title 10% Diss around 1998. In the track, she painted Latifah as being sexually confused and on the downside of her career, using her platinum plaque as proof that she had far exceeded Latifah's success. Latifah then went harder than almost any other female rapper when she responded with name-calling part 2 later that year. Although Foxy was praised as being very daring by attacking the Queen, especially while she was still so young, Latifah was given the win in this beef, mainly due to the sheer force of name-calling part 2.
I don't need tight clothes to cover up my half-ass and on your knees is the only way you was gonna blow.
Queen Latifah later admitted that the whole track was aimed at Foxy and had to do so, because she didn't mention Foxy Brown's name once on the entire song. Although Foxy Brown did come back at Queen Latifah with Talk To Me, which did have strong bars, the Queen was ultimately dubbed the winner of this battle, and the duo publicly squashed their beef around the year 2000, with Foxy Brown performing Nana Be Like on the Queen Latifah show.
Give it up for Def Jam's first lady, Foxy Brown!
She from the bush? She from Flatbush?
I flow sicker like, so quicker like, Nana Pop, it's been hot.
Following their reconciliation, the pair had been photographed hugging together and seemed to be on good terms. Foxy Brown vs Queen Pen, a heavy beef with multiple diss tracks, like with Queen Latifah. In fact, Queen Pen's involvement was almost
Yo, y'all let me know who this is in the comment section down below. I never heard of it. I'm not even trying to be funny.
Collateral damage to Brown's feud with Queen Latifah. See, when Foxy Brown first released 10% Diss around 1998, she took aim at Penn, who had recently dropped a controversial lesbian-themed single, one called Girlfriend. Now, Queen Pen took the diss a lot more personally than Queen Latifah, and instead of handling it by dropping a diss track, Queen Pen was like, today, I'm choosing violence. She confronted Foxy Brown while barefoot in a hotel and attacked Foxy Brown, hitting her and tried to chase her down an elevator before the altercation was broken up by fellow rappers Noriega and Chyna. Later that day,
the little animation of it is funny though, I ain't gonna lie.
Came across Brown with her then fiance, Corrupt, but luckily this time the conflict was subdued before it turned physical. Things would have died down from there, except that Foxy's Talk to Me single also took shots at Queen Pen.
Y'all bitches is scarred now, got you rhyming from the heart now. Ain't been talking shit, the fuck you wanna start now? Mad cause he pretty? See your fruity ass straight staring at my titties.
Pen then decided to respond with her own subliminal disses on her 2001 single, I Gotcha.
You real funny to me, like a drag queen with heels and a head full of weed.
Although Pen tried to deny the track was aimed at Foxy, in a later interview she said, "You make a record about me, I make a record about you. Sooner or later I'm gonna have to punch you in your face." Luckily, the feud died down after only
This surprises me and introduces me to somebody new because I never knew who Queen Pen was.
one track, and the beef simmered down quickly after that. By 2006, the pair had publicly reconciled at Russell Simmons Hip Hop Summit.
I, myself, want to extend an olive branch to Queen Pen, whom I've had a rivalry with for the past 8 or 9 years. So I want to personally reach out to you and we can start leading tonight.
That's growth.
Now, one of her more famous feuds, Foxy Brown's beef with Eve, was a whole lot more personal than any of her previous beefs that we have discussed so far. It can be traced back to 2 sources, depending on who you ask. According to Eve, it all began when Foxy ruined one of her early shows by walking on stage during her performance, leading to the crowd chanting Foxy's name rather than Eve's. Brown, on the other hand, hated Eve because she blamed her for the failure of her relationship with Corrupt. Eve had been DMX's protege at the time and allegedly snitched that Foxy Brown was having an affair with the other rapper. Corrupt, who was engaged to Brown at the time, broke off the engagement after the allegations were made, and although Foxy denies that she never cheated, she still sees Eve as the reason their relationship failed. The tension reached a breaking point. However, when Eve dissed both Brown and Kim on her 2001 and 2002 tracks Let Me Blow Your Mind and Double R What, alleging that both female MCs used ghostwriters.
Some of y'all ain't writing well, too concerned with fashion. You feeling lucky, then approach me, shit.
I got a question. What do y'all think is better, today's female rap or back then? Comment that in the comment section down below.
I'm like a glass, you just a coaster, bitch.
Foxy then fired back with some truly fire disses on her track Get Off Me. In the single, Foxy compared Eve to a Yorkshire Terrier. She also called her a jealous bum and took shots at her single Gangsta Lovin'. Like with Latifah, Foxy then brought in more collateral when she included Charlie Baltimore in the beef. Foxy Brown disapproved of Eve and Charlie Baltimore's single Philly's Finest, calling it disrespectful to Jay-Z and B.I.G.
They're like, yo, Fox, man, how y'all let these 2 Philly chicks get on the Brooklyn's Finest record, man? How disrespectful is that to the late great homie? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I really think that's very disrespectful because Big is a legend in Brooklyn, man. Big and Jay-Z. And if anybody was going to do that record, it had to be Foxy or Kim, straight like that. For real, that's real disrespectful. It's Brooklyn.
I mean, they not just legends in just Brooklyn, but that's I get what she mean though. I get what she mean though.
finest all day, every day. Know what I mean? And that's how it's going down.
Foxy also took credit for female MCs on the rise, claiming that since she and Lil' Kim debuted, everyone wanted a female in their crew, but added that Eve was not doing that for her crew. Eve then continued the petty back and forth by dubbing Foxy a wankster and a miserable jealous in a 2002 interview.
It was just like, first of all, she's playing herself. She's looking real weak, because any person showing the world, letting the world know how jealous you are of a person, you weak. He's a miserable.
I'm really glad I could be an inspiration to her ghostwriter. I write my own songs. I'm definitely not gonna waste time writing a song about this chick so I can wait on her to pick somebody to write a song back to me. I'm like this, come see me. I'm definitely not doing no joint, no song back to her. She about to drop too. Good luck on your album, sweetie. Good luck. I'm not bringing you back out. I ain't wasting my time. She playing herself, and her bank account looked the same. Do you, ma? You look weak. Do you? About a year later, Foxy appeared on the Wendy Williams show, and during the interview she revealed that she hated Eve and blamed her for her breakup with Corrupt, saying that she snitched about her alleged affair with DMX. She then called Eve a poorly dressed blonde chick,
I mean, how
and
is
added
that
that she was sick and
hold on, how is that snitching if it wasn't true? I don't know if I'm misunderstanding something, but snitching is something that, like, yo, this person is doing this and you was actually doing it.
tired of Eve subliminally dissing her and Lil' Kim on records because she and Lil' Kim changed the game for female rappers.
Do you have any other female rappers that are you cool with Eve?
No, I don't associate with any female rappers.
I got you.
At all. Not even female rappers, not singling them out. I just don't have any.
I think more than just Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown changed the game back then. I think it was more than just those two female artists that changed the game back then. It was a lot of good female artists back then. But because, you know, their legacy and what they did, people try to just box them in and make it seem like they was the only two. Not discrediting them in any type of way, shape, fashion, or form, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving my input. It's a lot of other good female artists besides Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown.
Friends at all.
Eve then dissed Foxy again on the track We're Back with DMX and Jadakiss, and the beef seemingly dissipated after that.
Have you checked out any of the Eve clothing?
No, actually, I think I probably saw an ad. Maybe.
Okay.
Cute.
Are you still that's still going on?
No, I really.
The you and Eve
I'm
thing?
in a whole different
zone.
State. No.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
Unlike Queen Latifah and Queen Pen, there was no public makeup in this beef. Probably due to the personal nature of the feud, the duo never publicly saw eye to eye and are still not on very good terms. Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Now this beef began around 1998 over Lisa Left
I didn't even know they had beef, but rest in peace to Left
Eye Lopez and her incredibly volatile relationship with on and off again boyfriend Andre Rison. According to the media, Foxy Brown was sleeping with Rison. The duo collaborated on the single Burning Down the House, and Foxy made a subliminal diss about the infamous altercation in which a fight between Lisa and her boyfriend Rison resulted in her literally burning down his house.
Don't ask me who it was. Somebody came all up in my face. He took a vacuum cleaner pipe. One of those vacuum cleaners, yeah. He started busting your windows. And he started busting out all my windows in my car because I had set the fire in the bathroom. And when I seen him do that, I was like, I know you fucked up. Then why you had to go do that? So I picked up the pipe, one swing, crack, bashed the windshield in Andre's Mercedes. One swing, crack, bashed the windshield in his other car. Dang. One crack. Get back up, went back to the other one. Man. But we're in the middle of doing all of this stuff. It's like we all stopped at once in unison. It's like we all stopped what we was doing and we looked up. This black smoke just rolling from under the. It's just. It was like, wow.
Yes, they got back together afterwards.
Yeah, I'm with it. But can I hit it? Nah.
Nonetheless, the track did sting, and Lisa was fairly vocal about the fact that she didn't like Foxy. In fact, before Lisa passed away around 2002, Lisa disclosed to her fan site that she would whoop Foxy's ass. Obviously, as we all know, Lisa sadly passed away shortly afterwards, and there was never an opportunity for this beef to either grow or conclude. Natina Reed. Now this beef made Foxy Brown look really bad, and she probably regretted it after it happened. In addition to Natina being the protege of Lisa Lopez, she was also—
This shows me I definitely need to do my homework, because I don't know a lot of these, well, small portion of these female artists being mentioned.
also engaged to Corrupt. Foxy was seemingly still in love with Corrupt, and she sent subliminal disses at Reed in her song 730 off her 2001 album Broken in Silence.
Although we're not together, this heart belongs to me. See, at times I think y'all be confusing me.
In the single, she expressed that she's heartbroken, and that even though she wasn't with Corrupt, he was still off limits to Reed. Unfortunately for Brown, Corrupt had moved on by this point and backed his new girl against her. Corrupt and Natina then recorded the single It's Over, and like the title suggests, the couple was letting Foxy Brown know that she'll never get Corrupt back. As with Lopez and Eve, there was no public reconciliation with this beef. Now, we touched briefly on Foxy Brown and Jackie O earlier, but there's a bit more to their beef than what was said. Supposedly, the bad blood started at Circle House Studios in Miami. Jackie O was recording with Gravy for the single Menage, and as rumor has it, Foxy then entered the studio and tried to negotiate a feature on the song, but as we all know, Foxy had a bit of an attitude problem and was already a certified diva by that point in her career. According to the story, when Foxy entered the studio, she felt like she didn't receive the welcome she deserved. You don't know who the fuck I am? You need to bow down. That's what's wrong with y'all new rapper hoes. According to Jackie O, she heard Foxy Brown in the recording booth talking about her. This bitch don't know. I'm about to slap the shit out of her. Allegedly, this resulted in both MCs getting into a physical altercation.
Yeah, she definitely had a little anger problem. I ain't gonna lie. She definitely had an anger problem.
Foxy later denied the whole incident in its entirety. Jackie O, on the other hand, was vocal about the incident, dropping the diss track TKO shortly afterwards and stating to MTV, "I just know that yesterday I did not go there to get in no altercation. I went to work, and I did not know I would be winning an ass-kicking contest." You don't come to somebody's session acting like a clown. Something is seriously wrong with her. She's washed up. She needs to sit back and relax and retire. It ain't happening for her no more.
Oh, motherfucker, Fox, whack, I'm a hunter.
Just like her previous beefs, there was no public resolution, and Foxy kept denying that it ever happened.
Long as I got confirmation I was sprayed with, so I dropped that bitch. So fuck what you heard. The hoe could get on any TV station, any DVD. I don't give a fuck. Ho, you know I whooped your ass. I put feet on you, bitch.
Now, of course, no Foxy Brown video would be complete without mentioning
I ain't gonna
Little
lie, the females from back then was definitely aggressive. I thought today females was aggressive.
Kim at least once.
The beginning of AZ and I. It's a funny story that nobody even knows about. Oh my God. It was actually Little Kim who introduced us. If I can remember, it was AZ. I'm thinking Nas was on the phone, Kim was on the phone, and they were freestyling back and forth or whatever, and they asked him to freestyle. And she was like, hold on, let me go get my ace, hold on. And she clicked over and was like, yo, I got AZ, and da-da-da, and the other line, yo, I need you to come on the line, and da-da. So I got on and just bodied the whole conversation. And A was like, yo, where is she?
The two MCs dominated the scene of hip-hop around the same time and were consistently compared to one another, leading to resentment. The sad thing is the MCs were former friends and grew up in the same neighborhood. Both were on the rise around the same time and entered rap super conglomerates, Little Kim with Junior Mafia and Foxy Brown with The Firm. Around 1995, the pair worked together on Total's No One Else the remix with The Brat, and it remains the only song to date to feature both rappers.
Fuck no, I get dough, Fox Brown, mama, jig suits from Gabbana. Many people tell me my style is terrific.
Yeah, I definitely heard this beat before.
It's tremendous. I've been just
Around 1996, they released their debut albums within a week of another, Lil' Kim dropping Hardcore. Around the same time, Foxy Brown dropped Il Nana.
I used to be scared of the now I throw lips to the shit.
In addition to their similarities, the inside covers of both albums feature the rappers wearing the same jumpsuit, leading to even more comparisons between the artists. Despite the media's attempt to pit them against each other, they remained friends at this point, sharing a cover on an issue of Vogue, with Brown even praising Lil' Kim on Il Nana's title track.
I think stuff like that be done on purpose just so it could start like they music could sell. I'm not saying them personally do it, but labels and stuff like that do that purposely just so it could cause a feud and they can make more money and the artist can make and a little bit more. They don't really make that much off of it.
Loving this life, waiting for Kim album to drop, knowing the side.
However, the first sign of tension arose when it was announced that both artists were offered $500,000 each by Def Jam to record an album to be titled Thelma and Louise. Both rappers declined.
What was the
Half
beef
of him?
with you and
Beef is over. Half of him? Beef is over. What you want me to say? What you want me to say? Half of him is crazy.
Honestly, from my, I've always been the one to say, let me extend, let me try to.
The olive branch.
And I don't really like to be the one to say it, but there was discussions in the beginning where Biggie wanted me in Junior Mafia.
Oh.
And I think that that's where it started. And An and Jacob, the people who are a part.
So basically, Kim felt like her spot was being stolen because she also had, I guess, relations with Biggie, so she probably felt like her spot was being stolen. And Foxy was able to rap too, so that's probably what that took
Part of
place.
Junior Mafia would clearly tell you that Big used to be like, from the Daddy-O days and when Kedar Massenberg was a lawyer in Brooklyn, like straight up Big used to be like, yo, Jay, your shorty is hot. And I don't know if it stemmed from that. I don't know if it stemmed from me being a lot younger than Kim and not having to say that I'm 16 when I was 25,
Right.
or not, and I didn't have the stereotypical story of I slept on the park benches and didn't have to create a facade. But I had the heart of a lion, and that's what made me different.
So as far as you're concerned, there's no more.
Yeah, I'm cool, but I've reached the point where I'm not trying to extend myself anymore. I'm not doing it because I tried and it's but so much. Like I've said, yo, let's do. They've offered us $1 million to do Thelma and Louise album. And I went in and recorded my verse, and she never showed up. And after that, I was like, you know what? This is blatant. Like, it's obvious that she's not trying to, so why force it?
Around 1998, Foxy Brown took their feud to the public officially when Lil' Kim dropped Play Around with Lil C's and Diddy. Diddy closed off Lil' Kim's verse on the song with the lyrics "Stop trying to sound like her too," which is largely viewed as the first clear shot in the beef because of all the
Diddy, I thought you wasn't about beef back then. I thought you was promoting love back then. Made me wonder about you.
similarities between Kim and Brown.
Stop trying to sound like her too, bitch.
While this shot may have been subliminal and subtle, Kim did not even give Foxy a chance to retaliate, dissing her a lot more directly on her 2000 single Notorious Kim with references to Brown's rap conglomerate, The Firm. This chick running around with this stink-ass gap, and them fake-ass raps having panic attacks. You ain't a star and your record company know that. How you make all this money, get this far and blow it.
This chick running around with a stink-ass gap and fake-ass raps having panic attacks.
At this point, Foxy Brown absolutely had enough and fired back on the track Bang Bang with Capone and Noriega.
Two greats. Capone and Noriega, two greats.
She throws Subliminal completely out of the window on the track, publicly calling out Kim for mourning Biggie's death with the lyrics, "Let the rest in peace and hop off his Do you?" Overall, a quite solid diss track. And after the song came out, things between the rappers got far more serious and took a violent turn. Around 2001, Kim and her crew were leaving a Hot 97 interview in New York and ran into Capone and his crew. The crews got into an argument that escalated and quickly turned into a physical altercation. Shots were fired, and a member of Capone's crew was hit in the back, resulting in a trip to the hospital.
I just don't think somebody should get killed before people realize that a change has to happen.
It was outside New York City radio station Hot 97 last week. Police say it was Lil' Kim's posse versus friends of Foxy Brown. 5 in all, 21 shots fired, and 1 man
Is
shot
this where they said Lil Caesar and them all got involved and somebody got locked up or something like that?
in the back. Now, Foxy wants to set the record straight.
I had nothing to do with the shooting.
But the hip-hop diva did fire shots in the war of words that preceded the madness. Rap lyrics pointed squarely at Lil' Kim.
The album pushed back, but when it hit the streets, it's still weak.
Isn't this kind of like throwing fuel on the fire?
After 2-3 years of just being verbally attacked, I felt like I owed it to my fans.
Now, when Foxy heard about the incident, she tried to publicly make amends with Kim, releasing a statement to MTV that goes, "I really don't know how it started, but Russell Simmons and we got together, and I said, Russell, I want to call a truce. I want to have a sit down with Kim. I don't care what it is. Let's just end it. We can even do a collaboration. We're bigger than this. If it has to start with me, let it start with me." Unfortunately, Kim never responded to the apology and ended up serving a year in prison around 2005 for her involvement in the altercation. Now, initial police reports say that Kim was not present at the time of the altercation. Later investigations showed that she had been in the limousine, which was in the vicinity, and even departed the scene with other members of the crew that were involved. She was then convicted on charges of perjury and conspiracy for lying to investigators and to a federal grand jury. She was sentenced to 1 year in prison and served her full time.
Man, they was screaming like crazy.
Now, just before she was taken into custody, Kim dropped a diss track at Foxy Brown again on her track, The Game.
Jackie O proved you far from a fighter. Coming at me, bitch, you're playing with fire. I ain't gonna come back at you, I'm coming at your ghostwriter.
The beef died down again briefly before reigniting again around 2010. After Lil' Kim was announced to be participating in Dancing with the Stars, Foxy fired at her for being a has-been with the 2010 track Off the Muscle, in which she raps.
Catch me at Mercy at the bar, but motherfuckers will never see me dancing with the stars. Never. Will I embarrass my borough? I'm too thorough.
Now, Lil' Kim at the time did not respond to Foxy's diss, although she did not release a diss track.
The beef was it just started to become pointless. After y'all publicly, whatever, then it goes for it just becomes pointless, bro.
She did say the following: "I don't even want to mention her. One moment she got something bad to say about me, one moment she got something good to say. I don't like that flip-flop shit. That just means that you're still crazy. My mom always told me, if you know there's a snake in the grass, and you know it's a snake that bit you before, why would you pick it back up? I'm not picking back up any more snakes no more." Now, although she was not publicly beefing with Foxy, Kim was engaged in a heavy feud with Nicki Minaj. Brown then publicly sided with Nicki in the beef.
The same way she inspired every other female. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She always held her own with the dudes, you know what I'm saying? And you listen to Foxy Brown with niggas and you never feel like, oh, here comes the female part.
You know what's crazy? Just even standing here hearing her say that is how I look up to Roxanne Shante, who was my idol.
Shout out to
She was like
Shante.
my big sister who was on Rikers Island every week with
Yeah,
me.
shout
So
out to
yeah,
all
that's
of them.
my sister.
And roasted Kim again in her 2011 single, Massacre.
That bullshit Black Friday shit is garbage. How the fuck she love big and shit on Miss Wallace?
First, a chick wanna hate on Foxy. 10 years later, now she hating Minaj. Bear witness to the rise and fall of Miss Kimberly Jones. Now, the beef was supposed to be publicly settled in 2013 at Summer Jam with a performance together. The idea was to show solidarity in the hip-hop community and put forward the concept that even enemies could become friends again. Unfortunately, the performance never happened as Foxy appeared too late to perform, later stating to MTV, "It wasn't orchestrated properly. I understand the epicness of those two huge, the biggest female rappers in the game to come together and touch mics
Definitely the
is
biggest in the game.
phenomenal, but somewhere along the way, some part of that has to feel real." After this, the pair never saw eye to eye again, they never settled their differences, and to date, it remains one of the most well-known female rap beefs of all time. Now, Foxy Brown was also involved in a minor beef with Miss Jade and the Lady of Rage, artists that I've made whole videos about. So if you want to hear about those beefs, check out those videos. Now, around 2020, Nas dropped his King's Disease album, a project that saw the re-emergence of the firm on a track called Full Circle.
Down the top 5, nigga dead or alive, nigga or bitch, firm mafiosa shit.
Now around 2022, Foxy Brown announced she'll be releasing a new album and began working with producer Papi.
I might have to take a listen to that.
The album has yet to come out yet. She also has a daughter now and seems to be enjoying being a mother. And there you have it, folks. That's Foxy Brown's story in a nutshell. You can find...
Man, shout out to Lil Kim, shout out to Foxy Brown, shout out to Nicki Minaj. That being said, I appreciate you for the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch you in the next video.